Rolling through the sand like a thought in disguise. The scarab spins truth where the cosmos collide. Energy whispers, it never says goodbye. The Beatles crawl, the Beatles rise.
Go to AmericanHealer.website now. Get the tools for health and inspiration the way God intended.
Sort of burst the chaos, yet the chaos rise. My name Beatles, Beatles, Beatles. Over and over, spinning the world in the grip of their shoulders. Beatles, Beatles, Beatles. Under and over, rolling through time till the blackness is sober. The heat fades lower, the order begins. The stillness so perfect, it hums from within. The void sings softly, entropy takes a bow. In the shadow of silence, the scarab knows how. The second law is dancing, feeding life through decay. The third law holds the promise that the stillness will stay. Beatles,
Go to AmericanHealer.website now. Get the tools for health and inspiration the way God intended. For health and inspiration the way God intended.
They're gonna send it to your email or your cell phone. You don't got the email?
Yeah, I got it. I don't see nothing though.
Oh, shucks.
Gonna send it to your email or your cell phone. You don't got the email. Oh, I see. I hear you on there.
I know. I know how. I thought the intro was still playing.
I know how. I thought the intro was still playing.
In the beginning was the wave.
Resonate, resonate, see what I'm saying, levitate, resonate, resonate. Nah, I mean I'm trying to elevate. Resonate, resonate, words can't describe or articulate. Resonate, resonate. Feel me, celebrate. When they was partying and they was drinking, the gospel of music had me writing, thinking. Music is sounds, but it's also written words. Lego notes, fifths, halves, quarters, thirds. The periodic table of atoms. The language of the gods and wave patterns. The periodic table of atoms, E equals MC squared. The musical wave patterns, the facts are late. Synapse engaged, perhaps a slave. Collapse away. The heart detonate, the tongue generate. The stone demonstrate, the mind meditate. Honestly, honor me for escaping poverty, turning lemons to lemonade. Noise into harmony, awfully. God is the music of my artery, the heart of me. The beat is the best part of me. God is the way. God is the music. God is the music. Without it, I might lose it. God is the way. God is the music. Without God, I might lose it. I might lose it. Resonate, resonate. See what I'm saying? I mean I'm trying to elevate. Resonate, resonate. Words can't describe or articulate. Resonate. Feel me, celebrate. My thoughts don't make sounds, but I can still hear them. Periodic table waves to the Enki theorem. You never seen God, but you fear him. My thoughts don't make sounds, but I can still hear them. My thoughts don't make sounds, but I can still hear them. I don't understand the love words, but I feel them. My heart wild, my heart savage, that's why it's so
beginning was the wave.
Periodic table of atoms. The language of the gods and wave patterns. The periodic table of atoms equals MC.
Share the video, hit the like, subscribe, Cash App, Super Chat, AmericanHealer.website, Amazon. Share the video, hit the like, subscribe, Cash App, Super Chat, AmericanHealer.website, Amazon.
There we go. We in there now. Loading. All right, continue, Bright Experience. Live.
You need that D, yeah. D, with that blue magic. You need that D.
The window that happened.
All right, hold on.
We see you now. You on. You live.
I'm trying to figure out. Quick bites, we here.
No, you just left. Where you went?
I'm right here.
Nah, you left the studio.
Hold on.
You left the studio.
Hold on.
I was saying the first page, the YouTube page, so your mic don't echo.
All right, I don't know which one is that, so I just was.
Okay, there we go. You back. All right, and the sound perfect. Let me make sure. Let me see.
Why I look like I'm in a blur or something?
It
You hear me, Doc?
Yeah, we hear you. Everybody hear you. We good.
What up? What up?
Yeah. We good. Yo, this is our first episode in like 4 years.
Yeah, it's been a while, Ink. It's been definitely a while, man.
Yeah, man. It's
been a while.
been a minute, man. Let us see that kitchen, man. We want to see what that kitchen look like.
Oh, y'all want to see what it look like? This is where all the magic is done. Crazy burner. Where y'all see all them great videos. You know what I mean? All my spices. Yeah. This is where I do all the work at, guys. Everything over here. Yeah, thanks for having me today, Ink.
Hey, man, thanks for popping out, man. Thanks for that.
Sure.
Definitely thanks for popping out for the family. So we're gonna get right into it because it's late. Nobody was even expecting us to go live on a Sunday night. But people will check it out throughout the week. And we on Twitter as well. So people will get acclimated as we continue to rack up the shows. So we're going to do this every Sunday, or we're going to attempt to do this every Sunday.
For sure.
This is another extension, right? So it's one thing for me to break down the information, and I just got me a new book in the mail. Plant Genetics. So you know I'm excited about that, family. But Chef Will is going to be able to take the things that we're discussing into the kitchen and turn the chemistry into, you know, a dining experience. And Chef Will and I are working on a book right now so that people can be able to duplicate some of the things that people see on his Instagram page. And his Instagram page is internationally acclaimed at this point. So he has been, he has been like, he has been on fire since the last time we had him over here. From all manners of celebrities, and you know, the celebrities feel like he's the celebrity. So we happy to have him over here, but we're gonna get right to it. we're gonna get right to it. We're gonna let Chef Will explain to us, and I'll add, you know, some tidbits here and there, but we're gonna have Chef Will explain to us what is a complete vegan plate. I know that I get asked this question 10,000 times. So I know as a chef, this has to be, you know, where I'm gonna get my protein, and, you know, like all these crazy questions. So what is a complete plate? I'll let you take the floor.
I think a lot of people, when they're exploring becoming vegan, they are baffled with that so many times in that process of what's a complete plate? How do I achieve a complete plate? The first thing you need to understand on this journey is that you need the informational pieces. And the informational pieces is, it talks about, you know, learning where the protein comes from. And it's a lot of different variations that you can do when you're building a complete plate. And my two staples that I always do when I'm making a plate for a client or someone that's vegan, I always start off with my ancient grains, and I always start off with some legume or bean. And those are the fundamentals of my plate, and I build from there. So I always, like, when I'm breaking down my plate, it's almost like a wheel. It's a wheel. So when I break it down, it's 25% legumes, 25% ancient grains, like 30% colorful vegetables, purple cabbage, Swiss chard, things like that. And then I'll do another 10 to 15% of some fatty acids to kind of bring it all together. And next time when we come on, and Dr. Ink, he'll kind of elaborate a little bit more. I'll give you graphs of certain plates and what that looks like, so you can kind of dive into it. So I always like to start off with my ancient grains, like I said, because that's the fiber, helps break down everything, and is also ample amount of protein in those. And then I'll go into like my legumes or beans, black beans, lentils, chickpeas, so on and so forth. And then I build my plate from that, and then I'll use a high in fat, either if it's cold pressed extra virgin olive oil, grapeseed oil, or something like an avocado. I'm going to say, no grapeseed oil, no seed oils, never no seed oils. My apologies about that. Avocado oil, extra virgin cold press, extra virgin olive oil, and then you'll have your coconut fat. And then I combine that with my plate, and then we put it together.
Now, why you say no seed oil?
Because it's the way that it's processed. It goes through a strenuous process of refinement where they heat it up at like very, very high temperatures, and it becomes very toxic, and it's really bad for the body. I know a lot of people use seed oils, but it is horrible for you in your long-term health. It just
now let me cut you off for a second. I just want to show the people something real quick, so y'all can see what the so y'all can see what my guy has been up to. Right, this is the IG page. Right, this is the IG page, so y'all can tap in over there.
Absolutely.
Right. And this is what he's been up to. So we might tap on a couple of these so y'all can see him at work in the kitchen. He's in the kitchen right now, but I want y'all to just be able to, because right now this is Chef Will as Clark Kent, right? He's not actually Chef Will right now, but this is right here. He got his Superman clips up here where he all the way in his bag right here. So now you can actually tell me to stop anytime you want, Will.
Yeah, so for example, when I'm doing a plate, there's a lot of different variations that I'm breaking down. Now, like my page is all about complete plates, is all about the energy that's putting forth and everything that I do. And I want to give you a video real quick so you can really I can really dive in and you can see some of the work that's being done. So much to choose from. Let's go to this plate. Ink, scroll up. Keep going up, almost all the way up to the top.
Now this
All
right
right,
here.
so let's go to the kimchi.
That
Let's
right
go to
there.
the kimchi fried rice.
Hit this.
Yeah, you could kind of look at that. So my whole objective is like when I'm building a plate is to kind of edify you on different scenarios, different ways to kind of prepare different things. Like you see me doing a pumpkin, basically adding these different aromatics, adding these complex carbs, adding all of these different ingredients, anti-inflammatory ingredients, ginger, turmeric, garlic, that kimchi for that probiotics, that fermentation that's going to help with that gut. So I'm always when I'm building a dish, is just more than just putting a food on a plate. It's sort of like me telling a story, but actually me helping your body and just kind of helping you transition. So just giving these healthy alternatives. This is just a fun dish that I wanted to put and still kind of keep it, healthy as well. And that's 100% plant-based. But
now wait, what are we looking at right here though? Because hold on, Will, because you be, and respectfully to you, what I'm saying, respectfully to you, but you be putting these whole recipes together in like 60 seconds. so you know what I'm saying? Now, throughout his Instagram page, he takes you with him to get the groceries and he walks you through a much more expansive experience. But when you see these videos like this is him editing down the whole recipe. So John Q. Public may not actually catch everything that's happening. So you might have to give us a play-by-play.
Absolutely. So like this is so when I'm in the kitchen, I want to tell you this. And whenever I'm creating, it's really no formula, but I build formulas for people. So you seeing me at my rawest stage, me just building off a complete muscle memory. So like when I was doing this dish, like it's like anything that you do. When you're doing things over and over and over again, it becomes no format and it just becomes muscle memory. My objective was to encapsulate everything that I do in that 60 seconds so people can see that it is possible. So like, from me just preparing those aromatics, getting the pumpkin ready, making it very seasonal and just displaying it to the world. So that was the whole goal with this dish. It was just, me vibing and having a good time.
Yeah. So what is this here that you chopping up? Like, what are these?
So that's ginger, that's garlic.
Okay. Okay. And you're chopping up the ginger and the garlic. And what's tamarind, this right here?
Tamarind, coconut sugar.
Yeah, this is crazy right here.
Then I had lemongrass, that long stalk. That's lemongrass in it.
Yeah, this is crazy right here. There is no Chinese restaurant in America that has fried rice that look like this.
Yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah. This does not exist anywhere on earth except right here. So yeah, this is Chef Will at in his Superman role.
Also, like just parts of me teaching. So if you want to, slide down and go back up the other way. This right middle up.
This one?
No, not that one. That's me teaching as well. So I teach classes. I teach the curriculum, 24-hour vegan, and I kind of edify people on fats, complex carbs.
This one?
That one in the middle, yeah. This is me doing, a demonstration and a tasting, making holiday meals more approachable. So people are looking for something kind of to add on to what they're doing or trying to break away from different things. So I made a spin on some meatloaf, French onion mac and cheese, that butternut squash that I roasted. So it's just a lot of different variations that I try to kind of bring to the people. It's like, food is so universal. You try to kind of tap into what they like. But I just feel like it's all about energy, even when you cook it. So even on your plant-based journey, you're going to come up to some different challenges and things like that. Being vegan, those challenges are the different recipes and different variations. I show that to the people here and just giving them a taste of what I truly do.
Now, this look a lot more like, even just now when you was making the fried rice, it looks a lot more like art than food. You look like this look like art.
Yeah, for sure. This is just me. Like, if you follow my journey, I'm in so many different elements of my career. It's just like, if you put me in that space of creating, I'm a facilitator. So if you put me in that space to create, the food is basically sort of like my muse, and I get to kind of like, edify people and empower them with it. But I can do it in any facet. You see what I'm saying? You can put me in space and I can just do it anywhere. And my whole this is
heavy.
Yeah.
Heavy.
So my whole objective when I was doing this was, in a way, trying to create a complete plate for them, but with different variations. So like that lentil loaf, the meatloaf is made out of pure lentils. And I put that together. And then you have your complex carb, which are butternut squash. You have your, I did a kale Caesar, marinated kale, where I pickled it sort of like, and I did sort of a cashew Caesar dressing for that. So it's all these different variations for the people that I want to give them.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, this is crazy. So, and y'all can see a lot more of this, a lot more of these recipes, because that's literally, I mean, it's 1 minute. Now, like I said, respectfully to Will, because this is muscle memory for him. But when I see these recipes, I ain't gonna hold y'all. I be having to watch them for at least 5 or 10 minutes. Even though they're 1 minute, you gotta pause it and bring it back and rewind it and see what's happening. So don't feel no kind of way if that's what you got to do, because he puts a lot of time and work into.
So I talk about tap this front one ink right there where I have the jars.
Okay, cool.
So this plate, I was flexing a little bit, but this plate, I start early this year. I was talking about fundamental pieces when you're building a plate. Like, these are must-have ingredients. If you are a vegan, these are must-have things that you need in your cabinet day to day. You always need your ancient grains, whether it's black rice, red rice, farro, barley, all of those different things. You need variations of those in your pantry, along with legumes and beans. Your black beans, pinto beans, lima beans, all of those things, so on and so forth. You need those different variations, because off of those different variations, you can make burgers, you can make, falafel, you can make stews, you can make so many different things with those, and it's just going to continue to elevate. Vegan food is definitely not boring. You just got to know the foundation pieces, and then you build on with that with different vegetables, different sauces, and then you can make an amazing plate in so many different genres of food, like almost instantly. You see what I'm saying? It's just all about just a little bit of informational pieces.
Listen, and you're gonna have to show some meat recipes too, because the people in my chat, they're not always 100% honest. You know what I'm saying? Some of them,
we definitely, if you go all the way down on my page, like if you go all the way, like,
wait, hold on, Will. Some of them got, what is it, 10 o'clock? Some of them just finished knocking off some chicken and some beef. Some of them just finished Popeyes, Chinese restaurant, Little Caesars. Everything is happening.
Absolutely.
So we want to catch people where they at, so nobody feels, you know what I'm saying, like
left out.
Yeah, because we want to bring everybody up. You know what I'm saying? While doing a little bit of trolling at the same time, but we definitely want to
Absolutely
make sure everybody's incorporated and bring everybody up because these recipes all look crazy.
Yeah.
They
And
all
I'm
look
definitely grateful to collab with Ink. Like he's been, you know, sort of like a silent mentor, kind of like, you know, guiding me through a lot of these different processes, and you know, me reaching out to him. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? So that's just a testament to, you know, a lot of information that, you know, I gather from him and other people along the journey. That's that article for AARP about mushrooms. Actually, they reached out to me, and you know, I did a whole article spread right there. You guys, if you get a chance to tap into that.
Yeah, that's fire right there.
Yeah.
That's fire right there. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's why we had to get, you know what I'm saying? We got to keep Will over here. We're going to be back every Sunday breaking this down. So let's get into this idea now of the complete vegan plate. I mean, you gave us the breakdown, 30% and 30%. So you basically starting off with 60%. Pulses, you know, your lentils, beans, and your ancient grains.
Ancient grains, yeah. That's always foundational pieces for all of my plates. Now I won't say all of them. I'll say about 65% of my plates. Okay. You know, those are foundational pieces. Like if I was to say after a long strenuous day, so I'm a person that typically eats one time a day, like one real big meal a day. Sometimes I might have little things here and there during the day, but typically I like to get like a nice complete meal in a day. So I carry those two staples with me all the time. The grains and the legumes. Those are always two things that I always have in sort of my arsenal or my pantry.
Now hold on for 1 second. Let me interrupt you, Will, because we got one of my guys, and he be trolling respectfully because it's only 24 hours in a day, and no matter what subject we talking about, he say that's what he do. So today he is a culinary student, and 5 years. My man fly airplanes. He records studios. He build TVs, houses, anything we talk about. He say he do it. So we got a man of many facets. But yeah, no, the chat is definitely feeling the content. So I just wanted to
is we gonna bring them in?
Troll the chat a little bit. No. We ain't gonna bring them in. We'll actually, you know what? That might be a good segment for us to do in the future, though. Start bringing folks in to have questions.
Absolutely.
Because these is regular family members. They tuned in all the time. So yeah, that might be a good idea. We start bringing folks in. So what we'll do is maybe we'll bring in folks that have questions on whatever the last show is.
Mm-hmm.
So like after we wrap this up, next week when we come back on, if somebody got questions from this week, next week, then you know what I'm saying? Then we'll do it like that. We'll see if they want to jump in. But sometimes they be camera shy, or they be looking crazy. They don't want us to see them on the screen and all kind of foolishness. So we'll figure it out. But yeah, I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead and get back into your breakdown. And then where does the you know, like the color? So you said 20% you're going to come in with the pigment, the veggies, the cabbages, the greens.
So whenever I'm looking for those pieces in my dishes, I'm looking for anything that's in season, anything that's local, anything that's close by. And the reason being because that's the healthiest that you can possibly get or can get at that time. So I try to stay within season every single time, whether it's, you know, I'm making a fresh tomato salad with lots of fresh herbs, you know what I mean? And, you know, I'll add, you know, some type of cashews in it, maybe, you know, some pistachios for a crunch factor, and maybe, you know, even some Swiss chard. So I'm always adding those in. That takes up about 25% of the plate. That's another 25% of the plate. 25 to 30%. And then, I'm coming in with my healthy fats to kind of tie it all together. My fats in all of my foods are always extremely low. I keep them at a, moderate level. I never put a ton of fat and no matter if it's healthy, cold pressed fat, I just never use a lot of fat. It has its pros and it has its cons. So you want to be mindful about how much fat you're loading up on and how much you're using in each of your dishes. A little bit goes a long way. And so I'm thinking about my overall health when I'm having my last plate. I'm thinking about how am I getting my carbs? How am I getting my fiber? How I'm getting my pigment? How am I getting everything that I need to kind of restore my body after a long day and working out? Because I try not to. The thing that you don't want to do when you're eating is lack, because then you create, different things will happen to you, different deficiencies. Ink will kind of probably contest to that and probably give you some more background work on that. But when you start becoming plant-based, a lot of people certain things might happen to them. They might have a vitamin D. They might lack from fiber. It might be a bunch of different things. Some people become diabetic, when they become vegan, because they don't really know how to eat or what to eat and what type of carb to eat and how carbs work in their body. So it's just like there's a desperation, not desperation per se, but it's just like survival mechanism. I'm hungry. I'm not going to go back to meat. So I'm going to eat this bread. I'm going to eat this pasta. I'm going to eat a lot of this rice. I'm going to do all these different things.
That's exactly what it is. It becomes a desperation because usually they're running from something. So a lot of times when people are inspired to get healthier, it's because the doctor told them something crazy, or they feel something crazy, or maybe physical performance isn't, there's something usually besides just self-development or personal development. Now, when it's just self-development or personal development, that's the best space to work from. But usually there's a driving factor. Usually blood sugar, high blood, something is driving them to say, okay, well, now I've got to start eating healthier. So and so it becomes almost, instead of embracing the fact that vegan means that now, okay, we're eating plants. They actually go into reverse, where vegan for them means I don't eat meat. And usually they'll identify themselves that way, like, well, I stopped eating meat. And that's not the thing that people need to focus on. It's not about I stopped eating meat, I stopped drinking milk, I stopped having this. It's more about what it is that you're actually doing. You know what I'm saying? What are you eating now? Because if you just hiding from meat, meat has a lot of drawbacks, but there's still a lot of nutrition that's in meat. So now if you give up the meat, you have to consciously be aware that you have to replace that nutrition.
You have to replace it. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to replace that. Yeah, you got to replace that nutrition. And if you just go into, for instance, if y'all go to Will's page, one thing that you almost will never see Will doing is you won't see Will with like Beyond Burgers and Beyond Chickens.
Or fake cheeses and
butters
and all that other stuff.
Yeah, everything is fresh. Everything is fresh.
Inc.
Wow. They know I be doing that all the time, forgetting to press the mute button. But
No,
so
it's
what
all
I was saying was, they're not replacing that nutrition, and a lot of times what they're doing is trading semi-processed food for super highly over-processed food.
Absolutely.
And you know, I noticed that on your page, you've been creating relationships. This is what it looks like, right? So I could be wrong. You can correct me and break it down, but it looks like you're creating relationships where you buy your bulk, where you buy your food from, period.
Absolutely.
Like, how important is that?
Having relationships with vendors and people where you source your product from is extremely important, because you want to, like, being a chef, being a teacher, being a facilitator, it's my duty to always give the people the exact information. It is my duty, it is my job to tell the people what's going on, where their food is from, what am I doing, what type of fat that I'm using. If I can't tell the story behind the plate, then I'm doing a disservice. So it's more about me presenting a beautiful plate to you. It's way more than that. If I'm not edifying you, if the plate is not helping you in any type of capacity, then what am I truly doing? And, you know, I cook from a very spiritual place, and I try to kind of like give a story to it, but always I want to try to empower somebody with everything that I'm doing. And I can't empower anyone if I don't have the informational pieces. So whenever I'm getting any type of vegetable, any type of grain, I'm having a relationship with that vendor, with that location, and asking them, what's in season? What do you have? What are we looking at? What are we doing with this? And then I build from that, because that becomes some of those foundational pieces in that plate. And that becomes a part of the story in that plate when I'm, you know, serving it to a client or to a friend or to a family.
Now, aromatics, because I talk a lot about aromatics, and I see that you talk a lot about aromatics. Now, I talk about aromatics from the standpoint of nutrition, because that is that's one of the main things that we have to depend on plants for as people.
Okay.
Tryptophan, tyrosine, and phenylalanine to a lesser extent. Those aromatic amino acids are what our body produces the majority of pigments and hormones and all of those things from. From a culinary standpoint, how are you deciding? Like, how are you putting that? What are you doing with the how are you deciding what to do with your?
In terms of the aromatics, like when I'm building out a dish, I'm looking at what do I need, or what am I trying to achieve in this dish? So it has to be very intentional. If I'm using galanga, if I'm using ginger, if I'm using garlic, all of those things are different properties in terms of helping the body with digestion, free radical inflammation, aligning the gut. All of those different things are helping the client or helping myself or anyone else. And I'm also building off of that, off of flavor profile. So what am I trying to achieve when I'm using those? So it's a couple different things: flavor profile, the benefits for the body, and how I'm gonna create that dish in terms of what region I'm gonna reach into when I'm creating that. If it's, you know, if it's African, if it's, you know, Latin, if it's, you know, any type of dish, I'm reaching into that bag and pulling those out and kind of making it more healthier. And that approach is different.
Now, so where is your gauge in terms of the blend between health and taste? And then to add another caveat, health, taste, and building the desire for the food, because we start eating food in our mind the moment we see it. The moment we smell it, and the moment we see it. And it's like the aromatics play such a key role in the smell of the food and the look of the food. Go ahead. Yeah.
So cooking is a couple different things. It's a bunch of different things. It's smell, you know what I mean? It's visualization, and it's understanding of product. So a product doesn't transform into what it needs to be. You have to make it that way. For example, if I take an onion, right, and I chop it up and I give it to you, right? When you eat that onion, it's going to be spicy. It's going to be real abrasive. It's going to have some acidic notes. And some people like it a lot raw, and some people it might be unpleasant to you. If I take that onion and I lightly saute it, it's going to take a lot of that abrasiveness off. It's going to mild it down. If I cook it a little bit longer and build some color on it, it's going to become very sweet. It's going to become very sweet. It's going to become very pleasant on the palate. That's the same thing with any other ingredient. Cooking styles definitely matter when you're building that. So if I'm trying to achieve different things, I understand the mission for each ingredient. I have a mission for each ingredient every time I'm building a dish. I have a mission for that sweet potato. I have a mission for that grain. I have a mission for those legumes. And each one of those, that's where I'm building a flavor at. So if you look at any of my videos, I'm taking you on that mission. I'm saying, all right, boom, now I'm doing this. As it caramelizes, after it caramelizes, I'm going to build on top of this, and I'm going to build on top of that. So I think, and what I truly believe in my career, and as I've been going along in this whole process, people are attracted to passion in the process. People don't understand taste until they are experienced to new and different things. Sometimes we live in this box of different things. Like we might grow up in the inner city and we used to eating these different types of food, and we eat them and we eat them and we eat them and we think it's good.
That's a fact.
We're actually just conditioned to that process because we haven't experienced so many different things. And we get into a space of when we grab ingredients we try to manipulate food. And what I mean by manipulating it is taking something that, you can transform it and elevate it, but sometimes you can manipulate it and turn it into something that is not supposed to be. So I'll give you an example, taking some beautiful turnips and carrots and, maybe some asparagus tips and putting them in a pan and mounding them with a ton of butter, right? You just mound them with a ton of butter. You just keep mounding them with a ton of butter until it just changes. And you just hit it with everything in the kitchen cabinet until it changes to what you want it to be, till it becomes pleasant to you. But that carrot is always a carrot. Those Brussels sprouts is always a Brussels sprouts. It's beauty in those nuances that's in those ingredients. As a chef, as somebody that's a facilitator, is to take the beauty into that and present it to you in a way where you like, damn, you can really embrace it. And I think when you get out of that realm of trying to force it to be something that is really not, then you'll become even more healthier because you're throwing all these different ingredients into it that is really taking it away, where you can simply take those amazing vegetables, minimum fat, and just put them in the oven and roast them, and they'll caramelize, they'll become sweeter. All of those other nuances will still be in it, but it will just become a little bit different.
Now, I could see the potential of us starting some trouble on this channel over here. Because some doors is going to be opened up. And if y'all have any questions for Will in the chat, feel free to drop the questions in the chat or any comments that you have in the chat, so that way we can, get to them in real time. But what you're saying is crazy in the vegan space. You know what I'm saying? Because literally, and this just goes back to what we've been talking about the whole night already. Because people come into the vegan space and it's about avoiding chicken. I'm avoiding fish. I'm avoiding this. I'm avoiding that. But when they come, they want to still have those same things. They still want to have burgers. they just don't want to have it made out of the cow's butt cheeks, so they still want to have, you know, and so that's where, you know, what is it, Morningstar, Gardein, Beyond, all of these other companies come in, and you know, when people try to do it themselves, you know, that's where that comes in, where they're starting to now try to take vegetables and turn them into other things. So what I guess where I'm going is, where is the line drawn between, like, for instance, yeah, because the line has to be drawn. Sometimes I've been places because, you know, before I got into my stay-at-home dad role, I used to be in like 4 or 5 different cities a month. And it's some places where you'll look at people's food and you, in your mind, you're like, oh my God, how I'm gonna break it to this person that I'm not putting that in my mouth. Like, yo, that looks crazy. I don't know what that used to be, but that looks crazy right now. So when it comes to things like mushrooms, right? Mushrooms are used, like right now, mushroom steaks are something that's really hitting. People is really digging into the mushroom steaks. So there's thing, and then obviously, you know, even people that are not even in the vegan or plant-based space, you know, they eat falafels. And I've spoke to 1,000 people, you know, a zillion people, and a lot of times they don't have a reference point that falafel is chickpea. Like they don't.
Garbanzo beans.
Yeah,
they get it. Yeah, they don't understand it.
So where is the line between turning a garbanzo bean or a chickpea into a falafel, or turning a mushroom into a steak, versus turning a carrot into a monster? You know what I'm saying? Like, where is that line drawn?
I think it comes from a level of understanding. Like when people cross over and transition into becoming vegan, it's for a reason, right? You know, people say they're tired of meat. They don't like the way that it's processed. They don't like X, Y, and Z. It can be for whatever. It can be for health reasons. It can be for people that want to just try something new. It's so many different reasons, but I think it starts with your reason why you're doing it, right? And then kind of like you got to make sense of that as you go through in your process. So it has to be a reason, you know, and if you have no reason to do it, or like I said, most people do have a reason to do it, it just has to be in line with what you're doing, because some people are okay, you know, using the fake cheeses, the fake butters, and etc., and so on and so forth. They're okay with doing it. They just don't want to eat meat anymore. So it's not really a health issue for them. They're not really thinking about it. They're just tired of the way that things are done in that way. And then you got some people that are trying, that they're got high blood pressure, or they're battling with certain things and they're trying to turn over a new leaf. So they're doing it for more medical reasons, you know. So everybody has a reason. And I think veganism is not as trendy as it was maybe 5 years ago or 3-4 years ago.
Certified fact.
You know, it's not as trendy as it is because I think the presentation has been off. You know,
absolutely. I think a lot of people have tried it and it didn't live up to whatever picture they had in their mind. And they was like, man, I'm going ahead and getting this.
I'm going back. This ain't giving it.
Yeah.
What I realized is, like, you don't have to have a skilled hand as I do. You see what I'm saying? But you do have to have a repertoire of different things that you can pull in and you can use. And I think just like everybody has been conditioned the majority of their life to eat meat and eat food a certain way, it becomes that when you become vegan, and you have to put the time in order to develop it. If you don't put the time in, it will never develop, and you will never become a healthier vegan, a better vegan, have more variety. You have to put the time in. It has to be something very intentional. If you're just jumping into it, oh, I want to become vegan, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be a successful vegan. you're not going to stay in that lane. You're going to probably start using butter or eating fish here and there. Like it's just something that's not really going to work for you. If you don't have the information, first of all, it has to be intentional. If it's not intentional, and then you don't have the information, and you don't have, like, you're not seeking out a repertoire, asking questions and things like that, then it's going to be very hard for you.
Yeah, you got to get to the study.
Yeah.
Because I was able to transform countless people's experience.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about they right at the verge. And this is for whatever reason. They going plant-based, they switching up, or maybe they not going plant-based. Maybe they just going like, okay, no more red meat, no more white meat. I'm going pescatarian. I'm just eating fish and whatever. They trying to make their improvements. And so they'll switch up and they'll realize, okay, well, their strength levels drop, their energy drop. And if that goes on a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, they just go back to the meat. And when they go back to the meat, they realize instantly, boom, they feel that strength come back to them. And this is just a prime example of what you're talking about like not having the information or looking for guidance or study or whatever, because it's just one simple thing. It's just creatine levels. It's just creatine. Your creatine recycles ATP and your energy cycle before it transfers to mitochondria. It starts with phosphocreatine inside the cell. So when that creatine level drops, you instantly gonna feel, because your body adapts to your diet.
Okay.
And so when you eat meat, you're taking in creatine from all of the meat. All of the meat is rich in creatine. So when you go from flesh to plants, you no longer have creatine. So now you have to exercise more to build more mitochondria. But in the meantime, you might have to supplement and get you some creatine to add to your, your drinks, your smoothie, or whatever you're doing to get that what you've been used to.
Absolutely. I want to say something. So when that typically happens, your creatine levels, they drop basically.
Yeah.
So
when you switch from meat to plants, your creatine level drop.
That happened to me. And I mean, like in the beginning of my process, I mean, they were extremely low. They was like, yo, why your levels? I mean, they dipped because I didn't know what I was doing in the beginning. You see what I'm saying? I didn't know what I was doing. And that's a prime oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, but to your grace, right? To your grace, you have an extremely high work ethic and consistency when it comes to exercise.
Absolutely.
So what happens is when your creatine levels drop and you continue to exercise and push through, you're going to go through what's called mitochondria biogenesis. And so over the next couple of weeks, your body is going to make more mitochondria to make up for the missing energy. But a person that don't exercise, they never going to get that benefit. So they're going to need some extra help. They're going to need a supplement. They're going to need some extra help. But you're and anybody that's constantly exercising, their performance will drop for the next few weeks or whatever the case may be. But by the time a month passes around, your energy levels will be back up and you won't even need it. But you will feel that drop initially. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't know how to get through it, you may turn back.
I want to ask you a question, Doc. So maybe this is a question I should be asking myself, but it's for both of us. So like we spoke about how the era, if you want to call it, of veganism is like dying out.
Fact.
You know what I mean? That is dying out. What do you think is the approach? You see what I'm saying, in this season or in this era of veganism, to keep it at the forefront, you know, because there's a lot of people's livelihoods that kind of that people lean on, that are vegan chefs that solely just work with that, you know, that are, you know, just in that space. You know, how do you sustain and how do you succeed, and like what's the next, you know, because you know, some chefs don't have that versatility in terms of digging in a bag and making a multitude of different things. So how do you sustain and how do you kind of keep that at the forefront?
I'll tell you, and that's a really, really good question. And I don't even think we can answer that in the length of one show. But the way I would approach the answer is, I would say it's partially a good thing. Culling the herd, pruning, it's partially a good thing because the trendiness of it created a lot of toxicity. A lot of toxicity in terms of people just throwing vegan products, you know, like vegan products was just coming out of anywhere. And a lot of that stuff is super highly processed. So I think now that the trend is falling off, it's moving into more of a golden era where the people that are going to have the staying power are the people, you know, such as yourself, that I wouldn't even say have the ability to do other things. I would just say, I mean, that obviously helps, but I would say the ability to dig your feet in the sand, like draw that line, like I'm not, like this is what it is, and be able to go deeper into the craft, you know, and talk about the nutrition and be able to catch the people, as maybe because people are still, America is last place when it comes to health. This is the sickest nation on earth. So there's no shortage of people looking to get healthier. There's no shortage of that. So it's just a matter of like being able to come across in a way where you know, where you resonate with people. You know what I'm saying? Like on your page, for instance, and I'm just using you for example because this is the discussion. But on your page, you're in the gym, you're in the supermarket, you're in class, you're in the kitchen, you're you know, you at farmers markets, you're at, so it's much more of an interactive experience, and not just for the person on the purchasing end, but for you, because everywhere you at, you're getting deeper and deeper into your craft on every end. Like when you talked about the building relationships with your supply chain, as you do that, you're learning more about the food, which gives you a more well-rounded way to prepare it, but also to communicate it to the people that that want to, you know, that want to be a part of the community and that want to, you know, improve their health. One of the problems that I had, you know, is I would go to a quote unquote vegan restaurant, and you know, they just hiring anybody to make the food. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like you got, I don't want to call nobody out, but it's just anybody making the food. You know what I'm saying? So because it was such a trend and everybody wanted to capitalize on the commercial side, you know, it wasn't really a lot of people that fundamentally practice some portion of what it is that they're talking about. You know, so they don't really have the information. It's pretty much, here's what's on the menu. I know how to make what's on the menu. Here's the price. Purchase this. Go eat your food. It's no. So if a person comes to you with a question and says, "Man, you know, it's flu season. What should we do now?" Or you know, should we make it a little more spicy or a little more bitter throughout the winter? Or like, they just, you know, there was no answers. Or you know, like, how can I improve my muscle profile or my work in the gym? Or, you know, I got this going on in my life. Well, Will, put me something together, Will, because this how I'm living. This what I'm trying to do. I need something for the week. Can you get me together? John Q. Chef, wasn't necessarily savvy like that, and a lot of people just really got exposed. You know what I'm saying, for not really being, a solid all around chef and being into the craft like that. Whereas people who are really serious about what they're doing and even blessed to an extent, because it is an art form, they got exposed as well, like you. You know what I'm saying? Because exposed doesn't mean something negative. Exposed just mean the truth is shining. You know what I'm saying? So the people who wasn't really complete, they got exposed for not being complete. The people who really gifted with what they're doing, they're going to the next level. You know what I'm saying? And the people around those people are going to benefit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, like, for instance, we have Society's Baby says, what's the best way to transition from meat to plant-based, and how long should that process of transition take so that they don't shock the body? How would you respond to that?
So speaking from my experience, because like when I give people informational pieces about anything, I speak from my experience. So speaking from my experience is that when you are transitioning, it should be, so when I transitioned, I just did it, boom. And that was it. The next day I was done and I never looked back, because that's the type of mindset that I got, and that's the individual that I am. But your body will crave those things. So
yeah, let me hold on. Let me stop y'all to let y'all know. Will is almost crazy when it comes to this. He's almost crazy because we done started up. Ink, so we got to do this fast. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we're gonna start this fast up. So me and Will done started up a fast. We on the fast for the next 10 days now. We on the fast. I'm just letting y'all know so that y'all don't get angry with me throughout the week and be like, well, why you ain't let me know so I could have jumped on the fast too. Will gets, so we on a fast right now. So just FYI, we on a 10-day fast. Will gets a little crazy about this food thing. So, but the passion comes through in his work. And that's what I'm saying, going back to the last question. The people that didn't have that passion, that was just doing it for the money, those are the people that, as the trend changes, but anyway, go ahead.
They're gonna fall from the wind. All right, to get back to your question, before you make a decision in terms of making that transition, things that I would do differently if I could, rewind the hands of time, or the information piece that I'm going to give you, I would reevaluate my lifestyle, right? I would see if I'm a person that likes a lot of sugar, if I eat tons of meat, if I eat tons of carbs, and I would kind of build off of that. So you would want to, if you are a person that do those things, you would want to wing yourself off. You wouldn't want to say, you would want to add some vegan principles into that lifestyle. So you eliminate one of those meals that you probably eat that's, driven meat based, and you switch it with a vegan meal. You see what I'm saying? And then you slowly continue to add on by, process by process, taking the meat out, each meal until you get to full days of eating full vegan meals. So it's a process. So you want to wing yourself off. Typically, depending on the lifestyle, like I said, if you drink if you have a lot of sugar in your diet and all those different things, it's going to be a challenging transition. So you're going to have to literally wing yourself off step by step. And by doing that is adding vegan, plant-based principles into your daily regimen. So you could say, I'm not vegan, I want to become vegan, but I'm going to add these principles. For this meal, I'm not going to do, this chicken. I'm going to take me some nice legumes. I'm going to pair it with some farro. I might put a grilled oyster mushroom on there, and I might eat that. You see what I'm saying? Or I might cut down a portion of meat, and do it differently. And then you want to, like I said, a lot of people don't know that sugar is not vegan. You see what I'm saying? It's not. You know, white sugar, brown sugar, none of them is not vegan. So you're going to have to eliminate that. So when you eliminate that as well, and that's in a lot of breads, those breads that you're eating, those, you know, a lot of different things that you have is in there. And processed cereals and all that other stuff is in there. So becoming vegan, all of that goes. And, you know, you got to come up with a formula that's catered to your lifestyle. So, you know, everybody, you know, it's good to want to do that. And it's good to want to transition off of meat, but it just depends the individual's lifestyle.
Yeah. I would definitely double down. I agree 1000% with everything you're saying. I would just dig deeper into your first point, examining the lifestyle. I would go further and say also it depends on, because the question doesn't give me or Will, we handicap with your question because we don't know what your personal health status is, where you starting from. So you could be, you know, 8% body fat ripped, and you could be 1,000% healthy. You know, you're ready to run the Olympics trying to transition, or you could have high blood pressure and diabetes or who knows what, and, you know, have some other issues that will complicate your transition. So
absolutely,
I would say weaning yourself off is the absolute perfect way to do it. Unless, you know, you got some crazy thing going, maybe cancer, or you got something that where you need to, you know, accelerate your timetable and do something immediately. Weaning yourself off is the perfect thing because there's so many different things that impact your neurochemistry that you're not thinking about, that you know, because people hyper focus on meat. Like, you know, I want to get off the animal carcasses. So people hyper focus on meat. They forget, you know, ketchup, you know, salad dressing, you know, like Will was saying, the breads and all of these things that are, you know, like complementary aspects to the food. These things have nasty, like these are nasty when it comes to the calories and the sugar and the chemicals and the dyes and that's where it really comes down to the nuts and the bolts of, you know, so weaning yourself off not only allows you to have a smoother transition, but it increases your success rate. Because as you weaning yourself off, you're building your database for what it is that you like, what you don't like, how you like things to be seasoned. Like, you know, it's a whole new world you're going into. If you're 30 years old, you have to think like this. If you're 30 years old and you're getting ready to try that out, or you 40 years old, subconsciously you got 30 or 40 years, or maybe if you're 20 years old, you know, you're 20 years old, you got decades though of eating a certain type of way and being around people that eat that way and watching people cook that way and tasting things and going to restaurants. And you've got to start all over from scratch. You've got to start all over from scratch so weaning yourself off allows you to build a new database. And then also, you know, your taste buds, and then your microbiome. Your taste buds and your microbiome are going to be highly impacted by you switching up your diet. You know what I'm saying? So that transition period allows you to start changing your bacteria population. And then, because anything you eat, you develop bacteria for that. You know what I'm saying? So if you eat a lot of meat, you have bacteria populations that, you know, that live off of those types of foods. When you switch to plant-based, your bacteria population change. Your taste buds change every couple of weeks as you start to change all of those things, you know, are things that we don't necessarily think of when we're going into like, okay, well, I'm gonna change up my diet. So what Will said is not only 10,000% correct, but again, going back to your question, Will, that's just an example of why some chefs will be exposed for, you know, the negative, and some will be exposed and elevated, because providing that kind of answer is going to have sticking power for you, because the people that rock with you, that listen to you, they're going to have more success than somebody that's not informed. And, you know, they attempt to make 10,000 changes overnight and they can't sustain it. And then they go back, and then it's not even so much going back or falling off, as we say. It's the mental, you know, people get into anxiety, depression. It takes them another 10,000 Monday. You know, I'm getting ready to start back up on Monday. It take them another 10,000 Mondays to start back up. So it's important to have the right type of people around you on your food journey. Like, I think people emphasize that in business. Like, if you want to get wealthy, you need to be around wealthy people. But I think also in the food space, if you want to make good decisions in terms of what you're eating, how you're eating, you have to remember it's culture. You know, it's culture. You got to have those types of people and influences around you to be able to get those types of answers. So I hope that was a good answer for society, baby.
And I think it's also to, like, just to touch on what Ink said, if you live in a household that's like very meat driven,
pause.
You know, like pause. Definitely pause. Yes.
Yeah.
But if you live in a house, if you live in a household like that, you want to take that in consideration too. You know, how would that work? You know, take that in, because that can be very challenging as well.
Right, the budget and who's shopping and what. Yeah. That's the politics. That's a big fact.
And what else I learned, right? Longevity. Like, when I think about it, it's you know, not eating meat or fish or none of that anymore. Thinking about not having it anymore for the rest of your life. Longevity is something that has to be a burning desire inside of you. Like, you got to have the desire. Like
that's a bar.
No, like, I'm not eating that. It has to be a really burning desire in you that you will not tolerate it or you will not have it.
That's a bar.
You know, that desire is going to cause you to kind of seek out information and seek out other ways, and it's going to make you better yourself. So desire, when I think about it, it's like that key ingredient to kind of tie it all together. So, you know, when you have that, like, people can have anything around you and it won't do anything to you, you know.
Listen, I want y'all to, on that note right there, make sure y'all go to Amazon and get the Desire book.
Pick it up.
Yeah, that was a perfect segue. But so wait, we got another question. This is a good question here. Because, you know, some vegetables you can only cook them at this amount of time or at this heat or temperature.
I like this question.
Yeah, how do you and then sometimes the meal is driven, you know, it's about taste and not health. Sometimes the meal is about health and nutrition, not about taste. Like, this is a good question.
How do you bring them together and have the best of both worlds, basically?
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to this once again. You have to become a student of this. You know what I mean? Like, when you're eating healthier and you're on your journey, you have to become a student, just like you are right now. And I'm going to tell you, each vegetable has different cooking times and different cooking methods to them. What I like to do, so let me give you an example. Suppose I want to do a medley, right? And I have a root veg, a carrot, right? I have a carrot. I have
wait, hold on. What's a medley?
A medley is a mixture of different vegetables together.
But is that like a soup or is that like a stew?
No, just a vegetable medley. It's you take whatever vegetable you got and you put it together and it's a medley.
Okay.
It's a vegetable medley. My bad if you didn't understand that. So it's just basically a combination of vegetables all put together, tied together. So I would take my carrot, right? Let's just focus on the carrot. We ain't even gonna go too deep. A carrot, for instance. How do you cook a carrot and how do you get the proper cooking time with the carrot? A carrot is a thick piece of a root veg. So what you want to do is cut your carrot down into medallions, which is some slices, and cut them on an angle, or you can cut them into strips. Once you cut your carrots into strips, now we got to understand carrots are very fibrous. They're very, very fibrous, and they're sweet. They have a little abrasive taste when you eating it raw. So what I like to do is get a pot of water on the stove, right? Get it to a nice boil. Drop my carrots inside of the water for about 2 to 3 minutes, maybe a minute. I'll say a minute, not 2 to 3 minutes. A minute. Pull them out of the water and put them into an ice bath, right? This is called the double cooking method. This is what you do. It's called blanching. That's going to take some of the abrasiveness off. It's going to make the vegetable pop. It's going to have a better exterior, a crunch, and you blanch them, right? So that's a cook. And once you blanch them and put them in the ice water, it's going to stop that cooking process, and you're going to get a bright, vibrant carrot. Now, if you want to take it a step further, you get a pan, right? So now your carrot is cooked about 15% of the way, right? Vegetables don't need a lot of cooking time. It's about how you cook it. So once I blanch it, right, I'm bringing out more of that sweetness. I'm bringing out more of that flavor, that color. It's giving you that amazing vibe. When you see it on a plate, it pops. I'm getting a pan. I'm putting a little bit of olive oil in it. I'm putting a little bit of crushed garlic in it. I'm putting a little bit of chili flake in it, and I'm dropping them carrots right in there. I'm sauteing them real quick, coating them in the fat, the garlic, the chili flake, little bit of salt, boom, and it's done.
Yeah, we got to do these shows earlier, bro. We got to do this earlier in the daytime because it's crazy right now. Because I know I'm not the only one that want to go do that same thing right there with what you just said in the kitchen right now. Like somebody is watching this. Like somebody's sitting there thinking the same thing I'm thinking. Like, wait a minute, I think I want to go try that right now in the kitchen. Like I want to go. Yeah,
I want to give them one more. So now, when you're thinking about other vegetables are very high in water content. Okay. So vegetables are high in water content anyway, but there's some vegetables that are extremely high in water content. And if you cook them, they're going to get very mushy very fast. I'm going to give you zucchini and squash, right? You can cook those for a little bit of time and they'll start getting mushy. You see what I'm saying? They'll get mushy. So the best way to cook something like that is to cut them in thicker 1-inch pieces and searing them on medium-high heat. So just get a crust on one side, crust on the other side, pull it off of the stove. And then you're going to have that crossover cooking. That's going to continue to cook it a little bit more, and they'll be perfect. So what I'm going to do, if you go to my page and go to my YouTube, go to the Bry Experience on Instagram, right? Send me an inbox, or you go to my Facebook, which is Atkins William, the Bry Experience, or my YouTube, which is the Bry Experience. You shoot me a message and I'll send you a graph of different vegetables in cookery time. I'll send that to you, Leon Brown. I'll send that to you.
Yeah.
And like I said, Leon, it's all about informational pieces. Like if you want to become better in that area of cooking vegetables, because I know that's a big thing for people, you got to kind of research it. It's all like this information we got out now is super free. So you could go on this.
Yeah, but hold on. It is, but it ain't. Because I feel like you just gave us some inside the kitchen, like some old soup, like we was in the locker room just now. You was like, hold up. So you're going to drop it in the joint, take it out, put it in the ice, then bring it back and put it and cook it again with the double cook method. I'm not sure we getting double cook methods. And like, I think that
it's listen, man, like this what we doing. We feeding our people, whether it's with the informational pieces, and we just, when me and Ink decided to collab and do this, it was all about like, empowering you guys and empowering the next. So, that's the whole thing. That's what I've been doing my whole career, is giving the information, giving it however I can. Because the reality of it is the more I give to you, the more it comes back to me. I just become better and better. I become stronger and stronger, and it's room for me to add more and more. So
and listen, to the real Dano Outdoors and Random Channel, they in the chat trolling a little bit. I put them on timeout because they was going a little crazy.
What they were saying? Tell me about them. What they were saying?
They just want to talk about meat. You know what I'm saying? Pause. They just interested in meat. They hyper focused on meat. but yeah, we're gonna have some meat shows. We're gonna have some meat conversations because Chef Will is not just making broccoli. You know what I'm saying? It's not 1,000 ways to, like it's not 1,000 broccoli meals. He makes everything. You know, this is a serious chef. So from your, higher level cuisines with flambés and lamb whatevers and everything. And so over time, he'll share all of those things with us. But tonight we just started in the plant-based space because that's kind of where he at. That's kind of where I'm at and where a lot of the audience is. But we're going to talk about all of those things. We're going to definitely discuss meat. Pause. We're not going to be attacking meat. He's going to come with some recipes and make it delicious. Some of y'all plant-based folks you might slip and fall and bump your head after you look at some of these recipes. You're going to want to try some, you know what I'm saying? But we're going to actually put a book together too that's going to have a variety of recipes. It's going to have, recipes for everybody. You'll have vegan recipes, your traditional meats and some things that may not be traditional, so that no matter where you are in your health journey, you know what I'm saying, we'll be able to, get you some best practices wherever you at in your health journey. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? And some people are eating meat today, but they're going to be eating plants tomorrow. And some people are eating plants today and, they'll be switching back over to meat. And so, we want to be able to provide information for everybody respectfully. You know what I'm saying? So don't be mad because, I put you in a timeout. I only put you in a timeout because you was going a little too crazy, but you're not banned. It's just a timeout. But we will be discussing, you know what I'm saying, animal protein. There we go. Animal protein. That's how we're gonna do it, Will, because it's crazy. The meat, you know what I'm saying? It's a little crazy with the it's a sensitive environment with the M word.
It definitely is. It definitely is.
So we're gonna be saying, the animal protein. We'll be discussing a lot of delicious ways to prepare animal protein for the family.
Ink, man, ink. With a night. It took me a little bit of while to get it going, but we here. So
yeah, man, this was good. This was an hour. We should be wrapping it up right now. To be honest. So in fact, let me go back to the.
Let me show him something. Ink. Let me show him something.
Dean cracking up.
Dean cracking up.
Dean cracking up in the chat.
Let me show him something real quick, Ink.
You got the floor.
So check me out, guys. These are my 24-hour vegan meals. Look at the brand. For anyone that's plant-based or anyone that just wants a healthier alternative, you go to my page and you can link with me and I can customize a lot of these different meals for you guys. So they're in stores. We'll be opening up a storefront, Quick Bites, and we'll be having these on the shelf as well.
Okay, so they can go here to the IG page. They can go here and connect with you here.
Yep.
Now wait a minute. I thought I seen
you go all the way up to the top to my profile.
No. But I thought I seen. Hold on.
What you was looking for?
Give me 1 second, because I thought I seen you actually restocking. Okay, here go the food right here.
Oh, you see me? Oh, keep going. I'll show you.
Yeah, I was about to say, I seen you restocking a store. Here you go, right here.
Right there. Go ahead.
Yep. Yeah, I thought I had seen you restocking.
And then me just explaining the meals, what I got going on.
Yeah, and it makes it really simple. That actually could have been a part of our answer as well for you know, how to transition, because that right there, you know, that makes it kind of easy, like a little cheat code where you could just grab a whole already prepared meal, and then on the backside you can learn about, you know, the already prepared meal, because you're getting the meal from somebody. You're getting the meal from somebody that is going to take you through step by step. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not in person, but, you know, because we are worldwide, you know what I'm saying? You know, people can watch from anywhere, but take you by the hand and kind of just explain to you, you know, here's the IG. You can watch him create the meal and then go pick the meal up. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother level to it. Definitely got to thank you for the super chat, champ. We got a super chat in the building.
I love you, Ink, man.
Them joints Will showing on the screen didn't make it back home. Yo, Dean is trolling. Yo, Dean trolling. He said them joints ain't making it back to the. I already know what that's about. Look at that. My man Paul, like, yeah, we gotta get Chef Will down in Houston. They want you in Houston already. Will done been everywhere already, to be honest with y'all. Will done been everywhere. So, but we're gonna listen. We're gonna work on the book. We're gonna get the book to you guys as soon as possible. Y'all know I don't play about the book, so we're gonna get the book to y'all as soon as possible. So, with a little bit of coaching, y'all will be able to make some of these dishes at y'all house. You know what I'm saying? At y'all's own house. You know what I'm saying? With a little bit of coaching, and you know, create this culture and spread this culture. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for your time. We're gonna do this. We're gonna try to do this every Sunday.
Every Sunday. Yeah, we lock in every Sunday.
Yeah, and we might not be talking about food the whole time every Sunday. We might be talking about who knows what. You know what I'm saying? We might be talking about any health or grown. You know, we might have any kind of discussion. So just, you know, today we just, you know, bringing y'all. This is episode 2. Episode 1 was like 4 years ago.
I was about a good two, maybe 2 years ago.
Okay, yeah.
Like 3.
Maybe 3. I think you might be right. I think
maybe
3 years.
3.
I think 3 years ago is the number.
We'll say about 3.
Yeah. So, all right. So
it was a pleasure.
Yeah, I'm gonna see how many people want to jump on this fast with us. See, they playing. They talk about, yeah, they cheering in the chat. We're gonna see how many people want to jump on this fast, because
let's get it.
Will ain't eating nothing for the next 10 days. He's not eating nothing. I said I'm gonna have me some greens.
He gonna throw some greens.
I'm with you. Like, you know how they say, I got your back. Then they be like, whoa, I got your back.
I got your back. You got my back. You got my back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna have me some greens, but I'm gonna definitely fast,
for sure,
brother. We're gonna bring the new fiscal season in correctly. So we're gonna see how many people is jumping on the fast. Shout out to my guy Harwin. Yeah, what fast? Listen, the starvation fast. Nah, you know what? It's funny because I was working on the monk fast, and then he you know, we was on the phone building on what we was gonna do today, and then he dropped it on me. You know, we had a discussion. So I'll talk to y'all about the monk fast. We got to let Will. Will's in the kitchen. I don't think y'all even understand the value of a chef going live from his kitchen Sunday night at this hour. You know what I'm saying? So we've had him for longer than we were supposed to. So I want to thank you, because then we had technical difficulties figuring it out. So
yeah,
definitely thank you. Thank your family for the time, because we really stealing time from them.
it's all good. It's all good. It was my pleasure getting on here with you guys, and we definitely will be locked in. And I can't wait to the next one, man. It's a good one, man. This was a good one, man. This was a good one. We got a lot of good feedback too. I've been looking at some.
Oh no, definitely.
You
And
guys,
listen,
you guys are.
this is the closing. This is the closing. We out of here on this. The difference between a fast and a cleanse, family. A cleanse and the fast, they're pretty much, the term is interchangeable. People use them like they're the same. The main difference, though, between a fast and a cleanse is your purpose. And if your purpose is strictly a physical purpose, like, you want to lose a few pounds, work on your digestive system, or, health, whatever the case may be, from a physical standpoint, it's a cleanse. If you focused on bowel movements and, that kind, it's a cleanse. If you are focused on the spiritual side and mental clarity and goals and things like that, it's a fast. Fast is traditionally a spiritual thing. That's why fast is most prominent from, theological text. That's where the world gets fast from. And then we get our holy men, But I think in the world where fasting and vegan and all this stuff has been over trendy and over commercialized, stuff is just blending together. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, we out of here, family. I'll see y'all live tomorrow. We'll see next week, and we out of here.
Like a thought in disguise. The scarab spins truth where the cosmos collide. Energy whispers, it never says goodbye. The Beatles crawl, the Beatles rise.
Go to AmericanHealer.website now. Get the tools for health and inspiration the way God intended.
Sort of burst the chaos, yet the chaos rise. My name Beatles, 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 over and over, spinning the world in the grip of their shoulders. Beatles, 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 under and over, rolling through time till the blackness is sober. The heat fades lower, the order begins. The stillness so perfect, it hums from within. The void sings softly, entropy takes a bow. In the shadow of silence, the scarab knows how. The second law is dancing, feeding life through decay. The third law holds the promise that the stillness will stay. Beatles, 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 under and over, rolling through time till the blackness is sober.
Go to AmericanHealer.website now. Get the tools for health and inspiration the way God intended.